power of Thinkorswim scanning. Tonight, quick risk disclosure. We are not financial advisors or a broker-dealer. I always mention that right up front. I spent the previous 15 years of my career in the brokerage world. I was more than happy to leave the licensed and registered broker world over there. That's why I always throw in there, we're not advisors or a broker-dealer. Additionally, we have a copyright disclaimer over here. This is not to be redistributed without the express consent of the National Football League and or TheoTrade, whichever one you may choose. With that, a little bit about me. For those of you that unaware, again, my name is Don Kaufman. I'm the co-founder here at TheoTrade. Started my trading career in the late 90s in Chicago. A short time thereafter, I was invited into a startup brokerage firm called Thinkorswim. Ironically, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So I do have about 17 years of Thinkorswim Platform experience, about a 19-year trading career. I actually come from a line of derivative traders in the family. So a little bit of background on myself. I've done the, the CNBC tour out there. I like this particular, if you're going to get pitted against somebody, get pitted against, what is thought of is to be the most evil person on Shark Tank out there, so Mr. Wonderful himself. Next over here, a little bit about TheoTrade. So people constantly ask, TheoTrade, what do? We specialize in education for options, futures, and stocks. We're founded, of course, by professional traders, and each of our trading educators and instructors have a minimum of 15 years of experience. We've actually got one I'll mention here in a moment with 42 years of experience. And we're really, I always look at everything as risk mitigation first while learning a skill set in the markets secondary. And this skill set can last you a lifetime. Again, we talk about everything from investment portfolios, buy and hold, to short duration trading, even to intraday trading out there. Moreover, I always like to mention a little bit about, who is TheoTrade. So TheoTrade is not just Don Kaufman. Again, I'm Don Kaufman, but TheoTrade is not just Don Kaufman. We're Doc Severson, who, if you guys are not familiar with Doc, he's a stocks, options, and technicals specialist. He's really into fractals. He's like the RSI Laguerre. Jeff Bierman, if you're unfamiliar with Jeffrey Bierman, Professor Bierman, who's actually also a professor at Loyola. Jeff is, he worked with me for 7 years at TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim. Stock trader. He's a former chief market technician for TD Ameritrade and the 7 million clients there. So Jeff is probably more familiar with the Thinkorswim charts than any other one individual alive. Then, of course, we have Steve, who better known as Slim Miller. Slim has a 42-year veteran stock futures trader. Slim is actually heavily into cyclical analysis. If you guys are unaware, cyclical analysis, Fibonacci's and so forth, he's phenomenal. Possibly one of the best in the entire business, one of the most thorough. Last but not least, rounding out our packs, we have 5 full-time instructors would be Tony Rago. Tony's actually a NASDAQ futures and intraday strategist. So that's our team here, of course, at TheoTrade. So, one of the questions that comes up here all the time, is about classes. So we offer a number of classes. This is actually our next class coming up, Definitive Guide to Order Execution over here. So I'm teaching this class, again, next Thursday, March 9th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central. You can go to theotrade.com/price to read more about it. If you're a TheoTrade member, you'll have access to this class as part of your membership. People always ask that. So that's the next upcoming class. And the reason I'm mentioning this, again, all the members attend the class, no additional cost. We're going to jump into the presentation. The reason I'm mentioning the execution class up front, it's going to tie very nicely into part of the discussion tonight on the Thinkorswim platform over here. So again, that's the next class that's coming up. I'm excited about it. There's 2 things I love talking about: order execution, scanning technology. So let's get into it. What we're going to talk about this evening, number 1, really how to transform your own technical setups into scans and really let technology watching the markets for you. All right, so just by a show of hands over here, and feel free to chat in. These are not, rhetorical questions. For those of you on our go-to webinar tonight, seriously, chat in. There's hundreds and hundreds of you, but chat in. Okay? And for those of you joining us, of course, over in the TheoTrade chat room, chat in. That's what it's there for. But How many of you spend this just vast amount of time sitting there watching charts, right? It's okay. Admitting it is the first step over here, right? You spend a huge amount of time staring at charts over there. We're going to talk about that. How to use scans to watch tens of thousands of market products to find precise trade setups. We're not just talking about looking at different stocks. We're talking about intricate setups out there. How to build basic to complex scans for stocks, option trades that can really run in, takes about 0.2 of a second. To continue on tonight, we're going to talk about scanning being essential in today's fast-paced marketplace. So no matter if you're looking for trades for weeks, months, years, or even intraday, the scanner is going to give you the competitive edge that you need. How scans can save you a huge amount of time. Obviously, you click of a mouse over there and you can scan, again, tens of thousands of variables. How to use scanning capabilities on mobile devices. It's actually one of the big features tonight. So we are going to talk about mobile device out there. So if you are on your phone, iPad, you can access scans on those devices over there. And last but definitely not least, I'm going to give you 5 of my scans. So I don't hold anything back when it comes to technology and so forth and scans that we build. We don't go out there and like, oh, you want this scan? We're not going to sell it to you. We just give you a bunch of scans out there so you guys have them. And they're scans that I've been using for years, and I just keep refining them and refining them. So let's get down to it. Let's go into the Thinkorswim platform, learn a little bit about scanning. There's one last thing that I do mention up front. We're going to use the Thinkorswim platform. So it's been 2 years now since I left TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim. All right, 2 years almost to the day. If you have a Thinkorswim account, fantastic. And the Thinkorswim account, of course, is a TD Ameritrade account. Even better, the brokerage firms now, TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, and Schwab and Fidelity, they're all in a major pricing war. So as of March 6th, your commissions are going to get even better here at TD Ameritrade. Nevertheless, if you do not have a TD Ameritrade account, okay, we are gladly going to provide you a link for that. And the reason is, that's how we finance a lot of TheoTrade. So we help open up accounts here at Thinkorswim. We also help open up accounts at many other brokerage firms. Of course, do I have a little bit of allegiance to TD Ameritrade? No, I have allegiance to the Thinkorswim platform. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Guys, ready to roll? Because this is going to get a lot more interesting here. And let me tell you right now, once again, is this recorded? Absolutely. Okay. Again, and the reason I say that is I am going to fire at you like never before. I get really excited about the scanning technology. The reason is it was kind of my baby. By that I mean when I worked for both Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade, again, I was there through all the different acquisitions. Like, scanning technology was my baby, and I'm going to tell you why right off the bat. Okay. So for years and years, I watched clientele of Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade spend, just to say countless hours on a chart would be an understatement. I've literally watched people spend tens of thousands of hours. I'm going to give you an interesting statistic. So I asked one of the developers of Thinkorswim, and this is going back about 5 years ago. I asked one of the developers, I said, how many impressions, okay, when an impression is how many quotes are pulled in the Thinkorswim charts versus the trade tab? Meaning that people put in quotes like, oh, Apple, AAPL, and they pull up an option chain and they look at the actual stock price versus charts. And the statistic to me, they said that 7 times more, okay, quotes were pulled in the charts than in any other aspect of the trading application. And that's when I set out like on a mad tangent to ultimately, well, I looked at charts and I thought to myself, we must kill charts. It's not that I'm anti-technical analysis, okay? I ask you this question, and I'm deadly serious about this. What are you looking for in charts? And chat in. Okay, this is going to be, again, it's an interactive session. So what are you looking for in charts? And, well, Don, I want to find, this is an RSI Laguerre. This is actually a proprietary study, but we'll share it. I mean, we're going to share everything. I'm actually going to share a scan that looks for the RSI. All right, so different patterns in here, unusual options volume, Okay, by the way, we're going to share scans for all of this stuff. So market direction, trade entry and exits. So like somebody will tell me like I'm looking for like a MACD to do X, Y, and Z. I'm looking for this. The point that I'm going to make right up front, okay, without any hesitation, what you look for here in the chart. Why? Okay, why not have 5,000 eyes scanning the entire surface of the market in 0.2 of a second? All right, I have something better for you when we start getting into the scanner tonight. Okay, not just to say like, hey, you know, it's going to scan for you over here. You realize you can set up alerts. I mean, the thing will literally, all right, text you and say, hey, your criteria is hit. What more do we need? And when you want to remain competitive in today's market environment, and that's why I'm so adamant about this. You want to be competitive in today's market environment. People sit home all the time and they're like, Goldman Sachs has $300 million of servers. Right? More like they have $3 billion of technology over there. But the reality is, so do you. And you better realize how to use it. Because, okay, the one thing I'm going to tell you is when I was with TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim, okay, I sat on the product committee. And what we did on the product committee is we actually voted on different areas of the trading application to push, okay, budget towards. Yeah, guess what? The scanner over here, the single most expensive area of the entire trading application in terms of the server farm. The single most expensive, more quotes per second, okay, are pumping through this. Why? Because those that know how to use the scanner, okay, use it incessantly because it can look at everything for you. Now, let's get into it. When I always say like, hey, you know, what are you looking for in charts over there? People come up with infinite different variables. So let me show you, okay, just on the surface, a little bit about the scan tab as a whole. So this is the scan tab. And again, somebody was asking, you know, about how long we're going to be tonight. Just talking about this, probably in like another hour. So maybe a little 15 minutes over there. Hope you guys don't mind. All right, more is better. The scan tab on Thinkorswim breaks down to a stock hacker, an option hacker, okay, a spread hacker, designed obviously for spreads, spread book, and an ISE spread book. What we're predominantly going to focus on tonight is going to be this spread book, okay, and the stock hacker, which you're actually going to find out about the option hacker. The option hacker and the stock hacker are really one and the same. All right, I'm going to say that again. They're really actually one and the same, right? They just call them two different things, but they really encompass the same exact fields because you can filter for options here in the stock hacker. Now, I'm going to back up, okay, for just a moment. So, where do you start? First and foremost, we're going to start right here in the stock hacker, okay? And if you've never been in here before, let me blank out that message. If you've never been in the stock hacker before, one of the first things you do is you come up, all right? This is what we call a show actions menu. And there's two different show actions menus in here, but this show actions menu, we hit reset. Just reset everything. I know mine was already reset, and there's like net change and volume and percentage change. Listen, I'm going to X out of these fields. Why? I want nothing. I want nothing. I want a clean slate. So let us build some scans, right? Let us build a couple of scans in here. Like, what are we going to start scanning for? Well, let's have some fun with it. First and foremost, I don't like to scan in all stocks. And again, I don't make any two ways about this. I don't scan in all stocks because all stocks are going to come up with some stock called like Joe's Tree Cutting Service. Who's going to trade that thing? There's like no liquidity whatsoever. It's you, Joe, all right, and a couple other monkeys out there. So when you go scan in all stocks, the first thing I do is I eliminate everything and I go down to this public list. There's all these. So I have personal lists, okay, but I want to start in public lists. And in this public list, I like weeklies. Okay, so, oops, I like weeklies right there. Why weeklies? And it's the very bottom of the list, okay? What weeklies is designated, now I'm going to scan in weeklies, okay? By the way, we have no filters. We're just scanning weeklies. What is weeklies? Weekly options. Just hit scan, okay? Look, we're showing 50 of 464 products. So, hang on just a second here. We're showing 50 of 464 products. What that basically means is that there are roughly 464 products that offer weekly options. That's weekly options. That's what it is. Okay? Why am I limiting that? It's because the exchanges themselves select only liquid products, okay, to have weeklies. Now, just because it has weeklies doesn't designate it as liquid. Okay? You can look at liquidity at a glance. Like if I pull up these, 464 products, you can look at volume. You can sort by this. Look at this. This stock's only trading 262,000. You realize I haven't even done anything yet, meaning I've just put in the weekly scan and hit scan, and I could already tell you what's liquid and what's not. It's crazy, right? That's how quick the scanner is. I mean, it's after hours over here, but it doesn't matter. So I'm scanning in the weeklies. Good place to start. All right. I'm a big proponent of liquidity. Liquidity, liquidity, liquidity. It's important. Next, what do? We can add a different stock filter. Now, stock filters come down to there's like back month volatility and beta. What's beta? It's relative to the S&P 500. You can scan for higher beta, right? You can scan for bid size, call sizzle. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the sizzles. You can scan for earnings per share, front month volatility. You can scan for a high, a last price, a low, the market capitalization. Is it a $700 billion company? Well, there's only one of those. It's called Apple. You can scan for market maker move for those of you that are into that. PE ratios, put call ratios, Sizzle index. Again, I'll talk about the Sizzle index. Volatility differential, vol index. Ooh, what's that? If I actually scan for vol index, just basically means volatility. Something with 80% volatility or greater. It already tells you there's only 14 matches. 12 which actually fit my criteria. There they are. Done. 0.2 of a second. I now know the most highly volatile stocks. The most highly volatile stocks instantaneously that have weekly options. There they are. Okay? Continuing on. Weighted back month vol yield. Yield is actually dividends. You can scan for dividends, percentage change over there. So that's a couple of fields. That's it. All right, so all we've done right now is we've gone to weeklies and volatility. Pretty exciting. Oh, okay. Let me blank the slate again. Are we having fun? Okay. By the way, if you're only getting 10 results, right? Somebody asked if you're only getting 10 results. Look, show 50. Show 50. Show as many as you want. So if you're playing the TheoTrade at-home game right now with me, go for it. All right, so that's a little bit about stock filters. Now, add filter for options. Listen, we're going to come back to option filters in a moment because option filters is going to blow your mind. We're literally going to blow your mind with what you could do with that. Let's go to study filter. Study filter is undoubtedly the most robust area. See, when you start getting into study filters, this is where my whole entire idea when I was at TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim, it really wasn't to kill the charts. What I can't stand is, for the most part, how you as a trader not only interact with a piece of technology, but to use that piece of technology to the level of beneficial, to be as beneficial as possible for you. And, I made some pretty, some pretty valiant efforts there to, again, build out a tremendous amount of the scanner. And what I'm going to show you in here, it all breaks down to what you want to find in the chart. And again, it's to use your time most effectively. And that's why I always ask, and I don't say it tongue-in-cheek, I'm dead serious. Like, what are you looking for inside of a chart? Somebody said, I'm looking for Dojis. So that was the first thing that came out. Right? So you come over here and you click on Doji. Oh, I'm looking for Dojis, the input length, the body factor. Now you have to know a little bit about that, but you can click on this question mark. It'll tell you what it is. It will literally tell you, like, oh, question mark, the Doji is yada, 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 and yada, yada, yada. Okay? I don't want to get too much into a Doji, but look at all the candlestick patterns in here. I want to find a Harami cross. I want to find somebody being kicking. You can even find an abandoned baby bottom. Come on. Who doesn't want an abandoned baby bottom? And it's got inputs to the length, and just hit scan. Now, it may not find anything. That's not a bad thing. It's bearish. You know how hard it is to find anything bearish? You click on bullish over here and you're like, oh, okay. And maybe it doesn't find anything right now because we've been straight up. If you're familiar with the abandoned baby bottom, we got a dip then rip, right? But you could look for dojis over here and hit scan. There's 15, all right? There's 15 dojis that you just found. Ooh, the VXX is in a doji. So all I want to do is at a glance just introduce you. Like, listen, I'm not going to spend all the time talking about a morning star. In fact, this is what our market technicians here at TheoTrade do. Like Jeff Bierman has spent inordinate amounts of time going through all the different candlestick patterns. In fact, we actually have several archived chats where Jeff talks about Japanese candlestick patterns. This is actually what these are. These are predominantly Japanese candlestick patterns, but he also talks extent about pattern recognition technology, which is looking for like cup and handles, okay, pennants and so forth. By the way, you can also scan for those, and people are very, very unaware of that. But so there's some scan, just some candlestick patterns. Then we have to get into corporate actions. You can scan for dividends, earnings. Earnings is important. Has earnings anytime in the next 10 days. Let's just knock this down to the next 5 days. So I just scanned all like these weeklies that are liquid products for earnings anytime in the next 5 days. Done. There's only 12 products. Momo. Okay. You can even alphabetize it, sort them. Abercrombie and Fitch. That just came out, I believe, today. Okay. Costco. It's out after hours. If you hadn't seen Costco, it's getting rocked. It's down about $8. Yay, Don. Okay. Why do I say yay, Don? You take a look at my account over there. I'm short 1,000 shares of Costco. So it wasn't going that well until, well, a little while ago. So, and by the way, I always show my account on here. This is like, people always ask me all the time, like, why did you leave TD Ameritrade? Regulation, because I couldn't show my own account, was a big portion of it. The regulators were at it again. So these are just, again, in an instant, earnings, okay? There's corporate actions. Now let's get to some real stuff. When I say real stuff, you want to see Bollinger Band crossovers, MACD histogram crossovers, moving average crossovers. Look, you just got to think your way through this. You want to see the 15-day simple above the 30-day period. These can be simple moving averages. They could be Hull. They could be Wilders. Again, okay, to your heart's content. You could do this on a daily, but did you realize that you could actually scan intraday, people, down to like the 1 minute? Anyway, hit scan. Look at this. You're finding a needle in a stack of needles out there in 0.2 of a second. And once you set these scans up, of course you can save them. You could do more than save them. It gets better than that. I mean, it's like way better than just being able to save it. I'm going to get to that momentarily. So this is a moving average crossover. We just found like 5 of them. But that's, crossovers over there, momentum crossovers, the PSAR, if you're into PSAR. By the way, if you don't know the studies that I'm going over, we have infinite levels of archives here at TheoTrade, specifically on all of these individual studies, like an RSI crossover, right? So all of these are stuff that, again, we cover in a lot of depth because, again, it looks kind of cool, build a scan over here, but you might, if you don't know what an RSI is, you've got some problems, okay? So, and probably one of the most famous is stochastics, the fast stochastic, but a lot of people don't use fast stochastics. They use slow stochastic, crosses the overbought. Look, what's funny about this is stuff overbought right now. Maybe. Is stuff overbought over here? Only 7 products really show up in truly overbought. The criteria here, okay, is phenomenally strict. And I'm going to say that again. So let's pause for a second, okay, and go back to a chart. So I'm going to blank a chart really quick, and I'm going to bring up, okay, a stochastic, because I just want to show you how this is going to work. So I can bring up a stochastic, and there's a fast stochastic, but we were talking about a slow stochastic. Hit apply, hit OK, right? And then I come in here, PCLN. It's price line. So what's price line doing? All right, and again, the fast, obviously the slow. There's a cross right here. Do you realize that the scanner picked that up in 0.2 of a second? That's the kind of stuff that I want to elaborate upon. Somebody's asking already, well, can you scan like a CCI? Can you scan this? Yes. However, I want you to know right now, not every single study is prefabricated in the scanner, which means, and again, I'll elaborate upon this a little bit, which means you have to come over here to this little pencil and click on it. When you click on the pencil, all right, you can actually come into a condition wizard. And if this, don't let this scare you, just go in here, edit, and instead of a stochastic, all right, you can actually go to different studies. And somebody mentioned like CC, okay, I. Well, there it is. Guess what? CCI, what do you want it to do? Is greater than, is equal to? Come on, you just said above 100 or below 100. Great. So you can actually build one scan for is greater than, select a condition, no, select a value, 100. Done within one bar. All right. And then you actually could build a second, all right, and you could save this and hit OK, custom condition, okay? Look, I just found what? 117 products with the condition that you wanted. Then you actually can build an additional one. You literally just add another one, add another study filter, and build another condition that says below. You could scan them technically simultaneously. So again, build to your heart's content. I just built you a custom scan there in just a few seconds. So that's some of the crossovers. Then I'm going to come down over here to popular studies. Guess what? There is a CCI in there, and this one's much more definitive. This is actually a CCI with a length of 14 is greater than, or you can do less than or equal to. So I did want to show you that one is prefabricated, but I figured it was great to take you through that one. So under popular studies, DMI, directional movement indicator, there's actually a MACD scan. MACD is one of the most widely utilized pieces of technology on here in terms of the scan. I'm not done yet. Moving average scan on balance, PSAR. There's actually a PSAR scan already set up. There's already a stochastic scan, Williams percent R. All right, we having fun yet? Okay, so let's kind of continue on over here. All right, everybody, deep breaths, because we're just getting started. Now, after I go through and show you some more of the variables, I'm actually really going to show you what, number one, what I've built. I'm going to give you the scans that I've built, okay? And moreover, I'm going to show you how to really, fire away at this thing, because I'm telling you, the scanner, people go out and they'll spend all kinds of money like, I got me this piece of technology that'll find me this. Nothing compares to the server farm for Thinkorswim. There's nothing on the market. Okay, you have to realize that TD Ameritrade is a $20 billion company that does nothing but pushes budget towards technology, and there is no small company that can possibly compare to the size of the server farm and the number of quotes per second that can go through this thing. You have to look at Thinkorswim on a scale of something like Google. Like when you go into a Google search engine, that's what the scanner of Thinkorswim really is. It's like a Google search engine for the markets. And the mathematics behind this, I'm telling you, this thing is phenomenal. And listen, I'm no longer with TD Ameritrade with Thinkorswim. Do I hold some allegiance to it? Yeah, because I helped in building a tremendous number of the pieces and the tools on here. So, and by the way, if there's one piece of technology that gets me going, it's definitely the scanner over here, because people spend just, again, ridiculous time in the charts. Price performance. Let's go to price performance. People look for what they call the fade the gap trade. Well, there's gap up and gap down, gap with time. Check this out. Okay? There has been at least a 1% gap within the last 10 periods. Periods is defined as days. Forget days. You can do what? 1 minute? Heck, you can even go into extended hours. That's a sick amount of data that we just went through. I just scanned over 400 products that are more liquid for a gap within the last 10 periods, all right, on a 1 minute basis. It's crazy, just crazy, all right? So in price performance, some of my favorites are in here. Highs and lows, that's easy, all right? The current price is 30 period high. That's easy in highs and lows, but let's start to get the stuff that I really like. One of my favorites is right here, price change. The price change is at least 2% greater than 10 bars ago. Watch when I hit scan over here, because this one's going to be pretty crazy. There's 127 products that have a 2% or greater move in the last 10 days. Hey, look, Are there any financials in here like Bank of America, yeah, Berkshire Hathaway? Every single bank basically exploded to the upside yesterday. But you can push the envelope here, all right, and say like, all right, so some stuff had some big moves. Did anything have a 4% or greater move in the last 10 days? Hit scan. There's 55 products. Go fish. Did anything have a 10% or greater move? Like literally, we're at like 10% or greater move out there. Hit scan. There's 11 products. Some of these probably had earnings, all right? Go. But I want you to see like how, again, you can kind of play go fish. And I only have one variable in here right now. I can put tremendous variables. That's price change, one I really like, all right? Statistical price correlation and standard deviation channel. The standard deviation channel is really a great one if you're looking for ultimately what they term overbought and oversold. Similar to stochastics, you can align like a stochastic, something that looks totally overbought, but is it overbought in the standard deviation channel as well? The close is greater than 2 times the standard deviation, okay, of 63. There's 8 products that come up with this. And look, the irony is what? Berkshire Hathaway, go, all right? They're in there. Lowe's has exploded to the upside. If you haven't looked at this, click on Lowe's, like right click, come down to more info, come over here to TOS charts, drop Lowe's into the chart, okay? Look what has happened. Now I know I have a stochastic over here, okay? Look what's actually happened to Lowe's. So if this is inside of a standard deviation channel, now you can pull up the actual study, check it. Oops. So you can go in a standard deviation channel, right? Just double click on it. Literally double click on it. Hit apply, hit OK. Look, it's smoked through the standard deviation channel. Done. You didn't have to look on the chart for the standard deviation channel. Scanner found it for you. Not going to lie to you, but hey, listen, it's worth checking out. After you come down to statistical and standard deviation channel, one of my personal favorite scans here is in price correlation. So let's look for stuff that has a positive correlation with the SPX above 90%, okay, for the past, 10 days, and hit scan. You know how complicated that scan is? You're scrubbing all the products. You're scrubbing all the products in weeklies against the SPX to see 90% correlation. I'm telling you, the mathematics of it, it's just off the charts of what you can do with this. Now we're going to get crazy. Stocks and Commodities Magazine, there's a deal that TD Ameritrade has with them. All right, long haul filter, the ATR, high SMA breakouts. You have to read articles on this stuff. There's user defined, there's volatility scans. Oh, we're going to get into this. IV percentile. Okay, so this is actually looking for implied volatility unto itself. So how many stocks are trading, not just with high volatility, how many stocks are actually trading with volatility percentiles, meaning that, okay, what this scan will look for is an implied volatility is at the upper end of the range on a particular product. And what you're going to find here is probably not a lot. Look at this. One product in all of the weeklies has over an 80 percentile in terms of implied volatility. Okay, now let's continue on a little bit. Okay, are we okay? Everybody having fun yet? Okay, so by the way, yeah, some people are finding, the filters in there pretty good. So the volatility scans get pretty in depth. You can even scan by market maker move. That's a little bit complicated. Again, some of the stuff that we're talking about tonight takes a little education to basically back build into this. Now, continuing on, different volume scans. People love when stocks are breaking out. How do you find a breakout? Maybe average volume, unusual volume, or volume change. Personally, I like unusual volume. Volume is increased at least 20% from its typical 50 periods. When I say 50 periods, forget days, look in minutes. Okay, 132 products come up because I included extended hours trading. All right, you can sort ascending, descending instantaneously over here. So again, 20% from its typical over its 50 periods. So we're just introducing you to a couple of scan ideas over here. Now, let's really get into a couple of scans and a few scans that I've built. All right, so at this point, breathe. Wow, somebody actually asked if it's real-time data. Of course it's real-time data. I mean, I'm here in the after hours. There's not a lot going on, obviously, in the after hours, but everything's real-time. That's what I say, like, if you buy a piece of technology, you would have to pay for real-time data. The brokerage firm has it. And that's, again, you want your brokerage firm to be the one-stop shop. And yeah, I'm touting like Thinkorswim, but you do realize like what TheoTrade does is provides a lot of the education for you to fully maximize the capabilities of a product like Thinkorswim. And we built TheoTrade because, frankly, it was getting difficult to do anything in terms of the regulations that existed inside of TD Ameritrade. I left, okay, because now we can actually display technology and not have to be worried about, the SEC breathing down our neck and telling us, you can't mention the spiders, okay, you can't mention the VXX. So here we go. Now I'm going to take you into some prefabricated scans. So this evening, we are providing you 5 scans. And when I say we're providing you 5 scans, well, we're actually giving you links to 5 scans. We're going to start, okay, with what we call the TheoTrade contrarian scan. So first of all, okay, I'm going to reset everything so everybody's, blank the slate, everything's clean. All I want to do is come down here to load scan query. I have prefabricated a couple of scan queries. Now there's all kinds of stuff that I've built over time in here, but the first scan that we're going to go through is the TheoTrade contrarian scan. Okay, what it ultimately does, well, let me explain it. Okay, and moreover, if you do not have it, well, you have it right now, because in the chat rooms, okay, we're actually giving you these scans. So there's a link that will take you to a text file that will actually have the scans. Now I'm going to show you how to load the scan. What do I mean, how do you load the scan? Okay, so what I've initially done, okay, is, and I'm going to show you over here, I'm going to highlight the actual scan. This is a link to a scan. I right-click, come over to copy. So don't click on the tos.mx link. What you basically want to do is just highlight it, okay, and copy it. Now on Thinkorswim, come to Setup. Come over here to Open Shared Item. Again, I'm going to show this. Setup, come to Open Shared Item. Now it says, enter the shared item URL in the box below, and to do that, you hit Control V. Literally on your keyboard, Control V. It'll paste it in there. Then hit Preview. Okay, and it says TheoTrade Contrarian, shared by Cheeky Monkey. I'm Cheeky Monkey. It's the nickname in there. Code name Cheeky Monkey. Then just hit open. And you're good to go. And by the way, it'll save this for you. Okay, so I'm going to close that up. Just wanted to show you how to do it. What are you actually scanning for? Okay, what are you scanning for? First of all, this is a TheoTrade Contrarian scan. A contrarian scan, this scan happens to be bearish. Okay, so if you want to label this, so label it what it is. Bearish. It's a bearish scan. TheoTrade, near highs. Okay, near highs, lows. So the current price is within 2% of the 252 period high. That's a daily. So basically it says within 2% of what? A 52-week high. Next, the price change, at least 3% or greater than 10 bars. That's days. So you're looking for a 3% increase in the last 10 days. Last but not least, does not have earnings. Does not have earnings anytime in the next 35 bars, which is days. You hit scan, 17 products come up. So what you're going to find in these products is these are products that are exploding to the upside. Okay, so much so that we're actually taking a contrarian position on them. Now you can love the scan, you can hate the scan, that's okay, but I'm sharing the scan with you. But I, feel obligated to tell you a little bit about the scan. So then you can take the scan and dump it into the chart. And look, this happens to be a standard deviation channel, but let me blank out that chart over there. See, stock's exploding to the upside. Great, it's exactly what we're looking for. All right, you can even run like our RSI. Look at this thing. The TheoTrade RSI, it's as overbought as it gets. An overbought never land, and the fractal energy is extremely low. Well, you know what's fun about this? You can actually scan by this RSI Laguerre as well. We'll give you that one too. So this is one of the first scans I wanted to share with you. This is looking for stocks that have literally exploded to the upside. Look at the XHB, it's the home builders. Let's go look at it. The home builders index, what is it doing? overbought to never, never land. Again, it's the exact same look, right? So this is an ETF product that is exploding to the upside. These ETFs just typically do not move like this. This stock has moved from 34 to roughly 37 in a short period of time. Normally in a 2-week period, the stock moves $1. Okay? In this 2-week period, it moved $3. That's 3 times, okay, its expected move, or a 3 deviation move. It's crazy, right? This is good. This is good stuff over here. So that's the first scan. It's a contrarian one, though. All right, you guys ready to move on? We're having fun now. So that's the first scan. The next one, it's a Sizzle Scan. Okay? And you guys can kind of follow along. So the Don Sizzle Scan, where is it? There it is. Don Sizzle Scan. I just put it in an email for myself so I would remember. But it's a Don Sizzle Scan. So let me actually go up here, load up a scan query. Okay? Because we're gonna get crazy now. So let's get crazy. So I'm gonna look for what's called a Don Sizzle Scan. Now, if you look at the Don Sizzle Scan, you're like, whoa, there's a lot of criteria in this one. You ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Sizzle. The last price. Okay, first of all, again, we're scanning in weeklies. If you guys haven't noticed, I like to scan stuff in weeklies, because it's more liquid. So you scan in weeklies. The last price, the minimum is going to be $5. I just said, listen, if it ain't $5, don't even scan for it, right? It has to be a minimum of $5. The average volume. Why did I throw average volume in there? Because I wanted liquid stuff, right? I just wanted liquid stuff. So the 50-period simple moving average of the volume. I'm doing a simple moving average of the volume. Look, I could do like an exponential moving average of the volume. That's crazy. Is greater than 3 million shares and does not have earnings anytime in the next 10 days. Why did I do the earnings bit? Because I didn't want, okay, Sizzle impacted by earnings. Now, hey, what's Sizzle? Sizzle, okay, is an interesting idea, and I'm going to hit scan and show you what it means, okay? Listen, there's only 10 products that came up here, and I'm sorting them by Sizzle. Sizzle is today's option volume versus the previous 5-day option volume, okay? Sizzle, okay? It's today's option volume versus the previous 5-day. So if something is quote-unquote sizzling at 4.5, it means that today it's trading 4.5 times the option volume versus the previous, what? Versus the previous 5 days. So you're finding stuff that's trading abnormally large option volume that's not going to be impacted by earnings and that has more than 3 million shares trading a day. Period. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. It's a very, very cool scan because what it's doing is it's taking you into a world that you know that the stock is active. Now we can drill down even more than that. All I'm doing again is showing you some like what I would call superfluous scans to get you in tune. Okay? Let me explain something about a scan like this. Recognize that many traders, investors, they sit there and they'll stare at like CNBC all day, listening to blank noise. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? And then, okay, for those of you that trade a little bit more actively, some guy comes on and he goes, well, right over here, if you're not familiar with this is, Merck, or for instance, Caterpillar. Some guy will come on CNBC and be like, Caterpillar's trading 3 times its daily option volume versus the previous 5 days. Where do you think they're getting that information from? Okay, now I'm going to blow your mind with what I'm about to do. Just looking at this isn't enough. Like you can hit scan, but it's cool and everything. Yeah, but you can click on the show actions menu and you can actually go over load scan query. You can actually alert when the scan results change. What do you mean? Oh, it can actually notify me via email and so forth. Ding, it's changing. Think about that for a second. You don't have to sit in front of your computer. It can actually notify you, all right? Like literally, what do you want it to do? Call you on your phone? Well, it does that. Okay? It literally will watch the entire marketplace for you. Well, is there anything trading odd, volume out there? Of course. By the way, this one right here, this is my baby. This is my baby. Before I left, I was like, gotta have alerts when the scan results change. They were like, yeah, we could do that. And you'll notice it's kind of hidden in here because the amount of server capacity this baby takes, oh, it's amazing. You have to realize this is not running like on your local computer. This is running on their servers. You're telling their servers what to do. You know, this is not like it's running like you have to keep your computer on. You don't even have to keep your computer on. You can actually alert when the scan results, close Thinkorswim, walk away. It'll pretty much call you on your phone and be like, hey, do this. That's how cool it is. All right. Continuing on. Now I'm going to go to an RSI Laguerre with fractal, and it's going to be a bullish scan. Load scan query. Watch this, personal scan. RSI lag scan bullish. You're like, what the heck is that? Well, this is code that we just put together. Yeah, if you ever want to look at the code, we don't hide anything here. We give you the code. I know this is just a million education verbs like, I will charge you X amount for your code. Yeah, we don't charge for code. In fact, I love this. Give everything for free. Why? Build it and they will come. And we don't do that at TheoTrade. The one thing I will do is like, hey, open an account at TD Ameritrade. Why? Because they help finance TheoTrade. So we can build more scripts so that you don't have to. I mean, it's a huge portion of what we do. But again, and I give credit where credit's due. Gentleman that's a client of ours named Mobius actually built this. Code name Mobius actually built this code for us. And a lot of the codes are actually built by clients, and he's a coding geek. Anyway, here. This is actually what the RSI Laguerre happens to be. It's this little monkey right here. This is overbought up here. Down here would be what? Okay, oversold. So when I run the scan for stuff that's bullish, look at this. Yelp. Couldn't have happened to a better company. By the way, Don is not a fan of Yelp. It was a personal thing. Anyway, it's actually showing, all right, bullish right now. It's scanning and it's hitting the bullish indication at this point in time. And again, in about 0.2 of a second, we're able to find, literally out of hundreds and hundreds of products, 4 different products. Okay, we having fun yet? All right, so breathe deeply because, again, we're not done yet. So, and by the way, if you want to set this up, and run scans constantly, you don't have to do this for the day. Like, this is a daily scan. You want to be an intraday trader? Fine, run it on like a 10-minute period. Okay, there's 2 products showing up right now, but you know, hey, listen, the market's closed. When the market's open, it's going to find a lot more, but this is including extended hours. You can actually exclude extended hours, in which case, all right, it'll bring up even more, but you can include or exclude extended hours. So you can run these scans on an intraday basis. All right, now, by the way, yes, you can add multiple symbols. So you come up with a scan, and here's 4 products that come up in the scan. You can also click over here on the right-hand side. You could save these 4 as a watch list, but you can also click right here and alert when scan results change. So when more products are added to this, okay, that you can do that. Notify, sound, email, mobile. When I say like, this is sending push notifications to mobile devices. I said it would like literally call you on your phone like, hey, you got to do this. You can even do it, a message for every change, okay, or a list of changes hourly, daily, or weekly. How insane is that? Show alert book after I press. I mean, again, I just wanted to show you some of the variability in here. Okay, now finally, I think we're having some fun. Okay, so I showed you another scan. Now, let's say you've built a couple scans, and I'm not done. I'm going to share a couple more scans with you. But let's say you've actually built a couple of scans. Now, after you build a scan, right, you just come over here and save scan query. You can load the scan query after that. So here's all the personal scans that I've built. Right, so these are some personal scans. Now, one of the scans I'm going to share with you guys here in a moment. Again, we did like the RSI Laguerre. I really like the TheoTrade Contrarian scan. Like, I like that one. Right, so 17 products come up. After you've actually built a scan, okay? By the way, somebody asked, what is a RSI Laguerre with fractal energy? It really is great. It's like an RSI, but it's got a Laguerre polynomial in it, which is a time-free polynomial. It's beautiful with the fractal energy. And to explain it, I think we've done, I don't know, we probably legitimately have 15 different coaching sessions just on that one. because it's such a variable study that we've used both intraday and in testing. It actually tested in the top rank of any of the technical scans that we've ever tested, and we test a lot of stuff. So to continue on over here, once you've actually built a scan, okay, just bear with me here for a second. Leave the scanner. Forget it. The scan never existed. You don't need no stinking scan. And if you're on Thinkorswim, like you got your left sidebar, look at this, the futures are down. Okay. Click on your watch list. Listen, if you're playing the, TheoTrade at-home game, click on this little watch list right there. Cruise down to your personal. Do you realize that all your scans, that's what these are. These are scans. I'm using the TheoTrade Contrarian Scan. So go under Personal, find TheoTrade Contrarian Scan. Click on it, because that just tagged the scan servers. So now you don't even have to go to the scanner. Once you actually save a scan, you can access it from your watch list. Why is that cool? Okay? Why is this cool? By the way, this stuff does work with currencies. You have to scan currency futures. It's cleaner that way. Okay? Does work with currencies. So when you look at this, this TheoTrade Contrarian Scan, it's a watch list now. And when stuff changes, it will change this watch list. Like you don't ever have, like, here, I can go to the scanner and keep hitting scan, 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 and hit it, scan, scan, scan. You don't have to do that. Once you actually drop it into a watch list, when the results change, it'll change. It'll also, if the results change and your eyes are not on it, you can set the alert. I mean, to literally like call you on the phone and like, hey, by the way, I wear, and listen, you don't have to do this, but I wear the Apple Watch, and I'll tell you why I wear the Apple Watch. First of all, I have my Mac issued underwear on right now. I don't use Mac computers. I actually use PCs, but I wear the Apple Watch because for like $300, it actually taps me on my wrist when stuff is going on in the market that I want to know about, because I set all kinds of alerts on scans. Moreover, if you're on your mobile, do you realize, like on your piece of mobile technology, you can pull up your watch list, but you can also pull your scan. Your scans are listed on your mobile device, meaning that there's a Thinkorswim app for the iPhone. There's a Thinkorswim app for the Android. There's a Thinkorswim app for Android tablets. There's a Thinkorswim app for the, Apple iPad. Okay? I don't think there's a Thinkorswim app for BlackBerry anymore. Anyway, so with that, you can actually pull the watch list. Go look at your watch list right now on your mobile, and you'll see these little swirls next to it. It's pretty crazy. I mean, again, you just can't. I can't get enough of like the scanner over here, because down with the charts, people. Down with charts. You're never going to want to look at charts once you learn how to use the scanner. Now we're having fun. Now, I built another one that I wanted to kind of show off, because I think this is a pretty cool scan. Under Scan Query, it's a personal scan, and it's the one I'm actually going to show you over here that's kind of cool. It's the unusual, okay? Again, it's unusual put volume scan. So I'm gonna explain you something here. It's just looking for puts. So I'm seeking, like people are always seeking like odd activity. By the way, you can buy a service. It's like $300 a month, and you'll buy a service and they'll send you alerts when there's weird activity. Do you realize that you just can build a scan and you'll smoke the service all day long? Because by the time that service sends you an email, it's like an hour later. Option type, put. This is now we're looking at a true option scan. I'm looking for a put. Days to expiration, less than 50. Watch, I'm going to mark this up over here. So days to expiration, less than 50. I'm looking for a put. And the volume, this is the individual option volume, has to be north of 10,000 contracts. Yeehaw! So what it is, it's on an intraday basis. It says, did you trade more than 10,000 contracts? It's cool, right? So it doesn't mean they have to do it in one bulk trade. All of a sudden, see, the whole thing today is somebody may trade one contract at a time to hide their size, but they can't hide detection if they trade 10,000 contracts all one at a time. They can't hide detection because you got them. Look, this is actually showing 100 different options, okay? You can actually sort the heaviest volume of the day. Look at this, the EEM, somebody traded 100,000 contracts. IWM is up there too. What you're looking at right now are the heaviest traded strikes. They're only puts. I did not put calls in here. If I wanted calls, look, I just flip this to calls and go scan and go, yeah, look, there's only 80. Go back to puts. Okay, hit scan. Instantaneously, I'm finding the heaviest traded products in the entire industry, and it's instantaneous. And it even shows you the volume. Like, look, 10,000 was the bare minimum. And you can even see the products that's doing it on, like the SPX, all right, some of the weeklies. And it even has, like, if you read this carefully, it's just the date, okay? It's all embedded in there. Bank of America, IWM, EEM, SPX, you know, HYG, that's the junk, all right? AMD, Apple, SPX, it's just on and on and on, just by strike basis, okay? And all I'm doing over here is fishing around. I want to know what these monkeys are doing. And see, now that's the fun thing. People said, well, what are you looking for? Well, that's a lot of what we do at the coaching sessions. I mean, we actually show you how to use a lot of this information. There's only so much time tonight. I could legitimately spend an hour just on this. Okay, this is a scan I gave you as well. And again, this scan, once it's set up, just alert for scan result changes. Right? Continuing on over here, load another scan query. I just go on and on and on and on. We have given you so many scans. You want to see the full brunt of what this thing can do? I gave you this scan. This is actually what we call a long gamma scan. Listen, this is one of the most complicated scans you could possibly build on this trading application. You ready? I'm looking for something that has penny increment options. You can use penny increment options. You can use weeklies. I'm looking for a stock trading between $20 and $40. I'm looking for something that has between 30 and 60% volatility. It has to have a volume, okay, of at least 1 million shares today. And I'm on and on and on and on over here. By the way, this gamma scan over here, it's pretty hardcore. By the way, let me actually pull up the correct one. I'm going to do the long gamma scan, because this is for people that want to buy options, the long gamma scan. So $20 to $40, 30 to 60% volatility. Now, this is the crazy part in here. Between 70 and 100% historical volatility. The implied volatility percentile between 20 and 60%. This is actually a custom piece of code. It's an average, or an ATR, which is ultimately average true range is greater than 80 cents a day. And I threw an average volume in there greater than 1 million shares a day. Yada, yada, yada. You want to know where to buy options? Boom. Apparently E-Trade and First Solar, being a net buyer of option premium, would probably be viable. That's how deep this can really go. And if you don't like penny increment options, hey, just flip the list to weeklies, hit scan again, same 2 products come up. You can actually scrub and intersect lists with lists. I gave you that scan too. And again, learning how to use these scans in context to the market is a bit more deep. But I'm showing you again, tonight we just did, a couple of superfluous scans where, number one, you didn't never look at the chart again. Number 2, for options, it's just, again, there's tens of thousands of different strikes. Unlike one product, there's like thousands of strikes. You're finding, again, a needle in a stack of needles. And I get excited about this stuff because no one uses the full capacity of what you could do on Thinkorswim. You just got to learn how to use it, and that's a lot of what we do. Now, let me show you something even cooler than that, okay? So, done with the scanner for right now. Okay, breathe, done. Breathe. By the way, this scan that I just ran, the long gamma scan, again, you just pull it up on the watch list, all right? Personal lists. Go dig it out. Dig it out. Long gamma scan. Boom! 2 products come up. Done. That's it. I'll drop back to my regular personal list. I must have my list up there at all times. Close that up. Now, I'm going to show you another feature over here so few people know about. Spreadbook. Okay, we're going to go look at a stock like Apple. Type in an actual stock like Apple. And next to that, hit like vertical. Okay, if you're playing, again, the TheoTrade at-home game, what are you looking at with the spreadbook? Now, this is another feature that I didn't come up with this one, but I thought it was an absolutely brilliant idea. This was on the Thinkorswim platform all the way back to like 2003, 2004. What you're looking at is other TD Ameritrade customer orders. Think about that for a second. Now, it's other TD Ameritrade client orders. Okay? You're like, why would you want to look at somebody else's trade? Huh? Why would you ever want to look at somebody else's trade? I don't know. Maybe because you're thinking about doing a vertical spread inside of Apple? And maybe somebody that's doing 50 contracts might be sharper than you? I don't know. By the way, don't just follow them because they do more contract size. You want to see some crazy stuff? Some of the biggest traders in the world are on this trading application. No joke. All right? There are some huge traders on this application. Once in a while, you'll look in here during the market, and there'll be like 10,000 contracts being bid for. That's crazy. Like, again, if you look in here, all the different trades. So what am I really doing? I'm looking through the customer order book. You can see what everybody else is doing, right? And when I say you can see what everybody else is doing, it's totally anonymous. You don't know if they're opening the trade or closing the trade. When I say it's anonymous, though, this person's trying to do a vertical spread. You can see the exact date they entered it. Now, for the most part, sort by the date. The old stuff is junk, but you can actually sort the stuff from today. Here's an iron condor that somebody did. All right? They did an iron condor. It's a 10 lot. Now, they were trying to receive a 31-cent credit. The mark is at 31.5. What does that tell you? Okay? First and foremost, you can see somebody else's trade. So, what can you do with their trade? Could you copy it? Yeah, just click on it. Right-click on it and go copy spread. All right? You can copy the spread, or you can go create duplicate order. It'll just dupe the order, drop it right into the trade tab, hit confirm and send, and we're off and running. Be careful. It'll copy the contract size too. You can copy them. You know what the best part of it is? You can front run them. Instead of saying 31 cents, you put yours in for 30 cents, you might fill. You can use Spreadbook to price crap. Nobody uses this thing. I use it every single day. I use Spreadbook every single day because you'll always find somebody that's trying to do the same trade as you. By the way, you may look in this book and you go, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Good. Create opposite order. You have to love it. Take the other side, right? This feature alone, again, it's kind of worth its weight in gold. And people are like, well, I need this and I need that and I got to buy this product. But listen, you just have to learn how to use this stuff correctly. Okay? Again, the most effective thing in here, it's not just trying to find a trade. Like, come on, anybody can, look, you can copy somebody's trade. You can lean on the price. When I say lean on the price, if this person's trying to get a $9 credit, these are trades that have been placed. They're working. They have not yet filled. Again, these are trades that have been placed but have not yet filled. The second they get filled, they're gone from the system. So when I say you can lean on the price, again, I do this every day. This monkey's trying to do it for $9. I come in here, I create a duplicate order. I back off a few pennies, hit confirm and send, and we're off and rolling. That's it. I mean, listen, they're doing 70 contracts too. But don't always go for the biggest contract size in here. All right? Just because, listen, somewhere in the world, there could be an idiot with a lot more money than you. But, you just have to recognize, look at the trade, lean on it for price. That's what this feature is for. Lean on it for price. And when you're having a tough time finding a trade, we can actually show you how to sift through here and actually find a trade that'll work for you. I mean, again, the features that are in the scanner alone, they're huge. So as I move forward, I'll kind of transition out of this, some of the next steps, and people are going to ask me at this point, hey, Don, it's great. I'm great. It's spectacular. We do have an upcoming class, okay, and it'll help you in your overall trading. And the upcoming class is about order execution, which if there's two areas I get really excited about, the scanning technology, and by the way, I'm telling you again, I will give you every scan that I've ever built. Why not? There's no sacred cow in this business. Give every scan I've ever built. So order execution is the other area. Order execution, to me, it's everything. People think that like finding the greatest trade is easy. You just scan for it. You got to execute orders, okay? You got to execute orders. So we get so many questions here at TheoTrade, and some of the most experienced traders about order execution. So I put together a class specifically for order execution. And again, this is a class that if you have traded, if you have invested, you have got to go through this class. It's a definitive guide on order execution. That's why I started with it, because again, it's a huge class. It's Definitive Guide to Order Execution. I'm doing it Thursday. Now, I have to do it during market hours. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the class. It's 97 bucks, okay? Got to charge something for it. And I'm the first one to tell you, listen, hey, you know, we'd love to do every single class for free. And I hope that you got a tremendous amount out of tonight's scanning. This class, though, it's 3 hours. It's hosted in our chat room here at TheoTrade. And again, all members of TheoTrade have access to this class, okay? What I'm doing in the class is I'm going to help you get filled at better prices. I'm going to help you understand how stocks, options, and futures really route. Doesn't matter. It's product agnostic. You're also going to find out where some of the edges are in the business. It's theotrade.com/price. Again, it's 97 bucks. I'm going to tell you guys something about the class. At 97 bucks, you will get your money back out of the class on a few trades, because I'm going to show you how what they do is called carving the bid-offer spread. You know, if you get a market out there, and people ask me this all the time, you get a market of $1 at $1.10. So a market's $1 or $1.10. Can you get filled at $1.05? Yeah, you can also possibly get filled, and this is if you're trying to buy the option, okay? I'll get you filled in around $1.03. All right? I'm going to tell you, it's huge, absolutely huge. I'm going to show you how to go in there and scalp, all right, the market makers themselves. And I'm going to do it in the class. So this is not going to just be like, yada, yada, yada. This is how you, listen, there's a reason it's held during market hours, because I'm going to fire trades. Just be captain one lot out there. You will love that class. The curriculum for it. Learn to improve your trading skills. It's about improved pricing when executing trades. But I'll tell you what, before I even read some of the stuff to you, okay, it's beyond improved pricing. It's, again, when I say it's beyond improved pricing, it's about going out and understanding how the trade is actually routing. Like from the time you hit confirm and send, all the different computers it goes through. You think it's important? It is important, because people all the time, what do you say? The moment you fill something, you buy something or sell something, you go, oh, they screwed me. Okay? I'm going to show you how to execute trades at better prices. You can offset transaction costs. There's also another huge portion of the class, okay? Advantages and disadvantages of retail clients in today's marketplace. You got to take back the edge. Advantages and disadvantages. First of all, you're the slowest fish in the huge ocean of markets. You better know that right up front. That's one of your disadvantages. One of your advantages, though, I'm going to show you how to get preferential treatment on your order flow. Insights to how orders are actually placed and sent. How you can, what I call, take back edge from the market makers. Carp the market makers. Carping the market is actually a term that was used on the floor for decades over there. Options broker has for executing your orders. So you're going to actually know if you're getting good prices on this stuff, how to receive better prices. And I always say the class, it'll pay for itself. Just, you'll watch it for 3 hours. You'll always have access to the archive forever. Okay, how to reduce some of the commission costs over there. The advantages of being a retail trader. It is preferred right now to be a retail trader. Are you guys aware of that? Whether you trade stocks, options, or futures, prefer to be retail. Discover how your trades are routed and executed. Executed means filled. So you're going to know if you got decent fills or not. And again, this is something that, you know, areas that I've spent a lot of time on. I watched 7 million traders at TD Ameritrade. I was, you know, behind the scenes at Thinkorswim during the crash in '08. I've watched a lot of orders route. All right. We'll talk about what I call front running the big guys, and just really, if you're trading stocks, options, or futures, the course, you won't want to miss it. So the class, again, here's the actual site, Definitive Guide to Order Execution. And again, I'll throw this up here. It's theotrade.com/price, support at theotrade.com. There's our number. Somebody asked the cost of the full membership. If you want to sign up just for TheoTrade for 12 months, it's $997. Okay, if you just want to go to the order execution class, it's 97 bucks. Okay, what's the difference? So that's the next question that's going to come up over here. What's the difference? So if you sign up for TheoTrade for a year, we give you every class that we've ever done and every class that we're going to do for the next year. It's access to everything, and we have a chat room for 5 hours a day, and we email you out trades. Okay, and we send you a nightly video. Wait, it gets better. Like, and you know, you have access to all the archives. It just goes on and on and on and on. There's nothing else out there in the education industry that's $1,000 for everything for a year. By the way, there's no like, hey, listen, you pay $9.97. We don't have anything else. We're not going to charge you for studies. It's included. Okay. Here's all the classes that are included in the actual membership. And we do a membership for a year because, frankly, you're going to be blown away. It's totally overwhelming, but there's a curriculum. There's options 101. There's options 201. There's options 301. But maybe you don't want to trade options. Well, we also have stock. We have technical analysis 101, technical analysis 201. Jeff Bierman heads up the technical analysis. Remember, TheoTrade, we're not just about Don Kaufman. We're, Doc Severson. Doc's awesome. He's going to do a huge class in March, too. Okay? I'm telling you already, there's going to be another class in March. I'm doing the execution class. Doc's going to do another class in March. I hope everybody goes to the definitive guide of order execution. You will not be disappointed in any of the classes. This one, though, this is kind of my thing. Like, I'm into order execution. 15 years I worked in a brokerage firm. And for 15 years, I had to hear about people complaining about commissions. Well, I always wanted to turn around when they're like, oh, it cost me this to trade. Guess what? You're routing orders terribly. I'll teach you how to route orders more effectively, and you won't ever complain about commissions. Speaking of commissions, if you go to the class, okay, whether you have a TD Ameritrade account or you're going to open a TD Ameritrade account, we can get you a discount at TD Ameritrade. I cannot elaborate upon what the discount is, okay? Go to the class, we'll get you a discount. By the way, some of you may already have discounted commissions over there. That's fine. We'll get you a discount, though, on commissions at TD Ameritrade. We have a wonderful relationship. I spent 15 years there, so hopefully I have a pretty good relationship. I left on great terms with them. Anyway, it's TheoTrade.com/price. Of course, by the way, the class, of course, is recorded. This is recorded. Total Theo, everything at TheoTrade is recorded. We literally do, at minimum, one coaching session a day. You can hop in our chat room. We do 5 hours a day in the chat room, but that's overwhelming, right? Now, nobody can watch 5 hours a day. So maybe on the weekend, you watch like an hour on the weekend. And we do a minimum of one class a month. So this month, we're going to have 2 classes. Last month, I think we had 3 classes in February. There were 3 classes. Tony did a class. Don did a class. Doc did a class. Okay. Oh, Bierman did a class too. Well, yeah, there's been a lot of classes out there. So, yeah, I again encourage you, if you have questions for us, we're here. TheoTrade.com/price. You can also, you can click in here and actually talk to us live and uncut right now. So everybody's in there to be able to answer questions. Again, everything is recorded over here. All the trades, you can place these in an IRA. You can place them in we'll even talk about 401ks. So by all means, price pattern scans in TOS. Hey, you know what? If you guys are asking all the right questions in here, there is a coaching session for every single thing about the RSI Laguerre. Every scan that we talked about, there's coaching sessions for them. If you want, go to the Total Theo, 12-month, and I'll literally link you the different classes. When I say I'll link you the classes, here, I'll show you what TheoTrade looks like. This is actually our site. This is live right now. People are in here, okay? Don always carves the market. It's carping the market, not just carving in between, but carp the market. By the way, look, hey, I didn't even put this person up to this. Jay, proven the best investment and trading education I have ever found and used. Thank you very much, Jay. Yeah, by the way, you guys are watching our chat room. I'm broadcasting this into GoToWebinar, but we're also broadcasting this live into the chat room. But here, I'll show you something that we just added over here. So there's member home. So as I click on the member home, type in a topic, like RSI, enter. If I type in RSI, it's going to pull up RSI Laguerre scans. Doc Severson, February 21st, applying RSI Laguerre in your trading. Okay, there, let's go back. But there's more. What else do you want to see? You want to see something like what? Option activity, option statistics, option activity. So if you want to know like odd option activity, here you go. Tracking extreme options activity. February 29th. Must have been last year. Sweet. Okay. I'll just go on and on like all day. So that's a couple things. Now, if you go to this member home over here, click on start here. If you go to start here, if you have no experience whatsoever, that's where you go to start here. 101, options 101, okay, 201. Then it actually gets to order execution techniques in here. There is already some order execution. This is the first major class that we're going to do on order execution. And again, this is a 3-part series I did in order execution. We're going to blow that away too. Okay. Or you can take a technical analysis route. You can go into the archives and listen to Jeff Bierman. So if you like Jeff Bierman, fundamentals, candlesticks. Like somebody had a question about candlesticks. I need to know more about Dojis. Okay. Well, here's candlesticks. 101, 201, chart modes, intraday modes. It's all in here. Classical patterns, Japanese candlestick patterns. All right. That's what our archives are actually designed for in here. So again, I stress people ask what the membership is. That's what it is. Okay. And again, I'm broadcasting into here right now, so you can see it live and uncut. So CARP, that's right. You're fishing. That's exactly what CARP means. There's actually a tactic I'll talk about in the class. It's actually a military tactic. It's called probing. So we're going to send out a couple of foot soldiers and see what we get back. So yeah, by the way, this is like the greatest thing. Bargain at the yearly price. Really, listen, don't, I push the yearly membership only because people love it. And the reason, if you are inclined to ask this question, why is it only $9.97? A lot of the brokerage firms help offset the cost. So we do actually send clients to brokerage firms. We receive nothing, okay, other than a marketing agreement payment. We don't get any commissions of any kind from the brokerage firms for you trading. We do email you out trades if you are a member of TheoTrade. If you want trade ideas, okay, it's all part of it. So I want to thank everybody for coming out this evening. And by all means, if you have questions about the order execution class, again, I'm excited about it. If you have to take a day off work, it's a good day off work. Come on, it's next Thursday. You weren't doing anything anyway. So join us, theotrade.com/price. Again, thanks everybody for joining me tonight.